So here it is, and what a state it's in. If you missed the last videos on this car, I went and bought this 1968 Series 2A. It hasn't been started for 30 years. And the last time this was driven was back in 1995 when it went to the national meetup for Land Rovers in Norway. And here is the proof. I even got the paper on the temporary license plate that the car was on. Check out the picture from the actual meetup. So in the last video we went through the whole car and then we checked the chassis plate inside the car, chassis number on the actual chassis, and we checked the engine, gearbox and all the axles. So if you want to see that, go to the previous video. We also found some interesting facts, and but you guys have been messaging me and commenting and saying, are you quite sure that that's the correct facts? I have ordered some papers on the car and we will get those this week or next week, so stay tuned for an update on the originality on this car. It's going to be interesting, and yeah, we will see. Now let's get back to the elephant in the room, the engine. I have already put back on the parts that I have. As I mentioned in the last video, I wanted to put everything that I have, all the parts that came with the car, onto the engine so I could see which parts do I actually need to order. There are still many unknowns about this engine, but that is what we are here to figure out today. I want to do a compression test, and if everything works out, that's going to be later in the video. First, I need to write down all the parts that I think that I'm going to need, and if you see something missing or you see something I overlook, please put it down in a comment. I wouldn't have gotten this far without your help. Now, which part do I need? I know I'll be needing an alternator. The old dynamo I don't think is in order, so I'm just not gonna do that. It only puts out 22 amps, and I think the alternator alternative put out 35, so I think that's a bit of an upgrade that we can do, and then we can look at the dynamo later if we have time. I'm also going to buy a full gasket set for the whole top area, and I think I'm going to buy 2 sets, so if I mess up I have a backup. So I got both manifolds. I need to check if I got all the bolts that I need and all the nuts, washers. I think there's a special one underneath here that I need to check, so let's check that. So with all the studs on the engine, and here I have everything, so that's good. Okay, so we are done with the manifolds. Now carburetor. So I need to find a service kit, full service kit with needles and everything. And I think I'm going to buy 2 service kits because I have a spare that I got, spare Zenith, and collectively I think I can get 1 working from the 2 that I have. And when we are on the fuel system, I think I'm going to buy new fuel lines just to be sure, and I'm going to get also 2 service kits for the fuel pump just to be sure. I don't know if there's a fuel line going backwards here that I need to change out, maybe in something in the tank. If you know, put it down in the comment, and then I will get that as well. Okay, so we are done with fuel. Now ignition. I'm not really sure I want to put a battery on it, but it's it got so many old wires, and I'm not really sure of the condition of the wires, and I'm not really sure what all the wires do, so I need to sort that out. But if we're going to do a compression test, we need the battery to put power onto the starter engine, which we really don't know if it's working. So yeah, I think start with the basics, clean out all the wires that I don't need. Check the wires connection between the points just to see if we get the connection between them, and then put the battery on. Yeah, so exciting. Can you just imagine? Never seen light in the dash, so put the battery on, maybe see lights. Really, really cool, exciting. Okay, so plan is to start with the basics, check the main lines, one that goes to earth. So this, let's see, says negative upside down, but so it's not positive, but negative still. And so negative earth, that's pretty simple. Is here. Then we can check the positive, which goes straight up into the starter relay, I believe. So you can basically just remove everything except the starter if you wanted to. Before I start on electrical, I'm just going to remove everything that don't need to be here to do the compression test, and then yeah, it's going to be easier to work around on the engine. Okay, before I remove it, I just want to try one thing. See if I can get the choke working. So I load this up and let's see. Ooh, this was not working. It's working. Can I see it? It's moving. Whoop whoop. Good. Like so. Carburetor done. Exhaust inlet manifold. So this is the thermostat housing. Sits in here. These bolts can be a pain to get out, I have read, like so. This we can take off. So nothing that spins turns this. Okay, good. So as you can see, the engine is not in top state, and especially the ports on the cylinder head, which I think, yeah, eventually needs to come off. I will try and clean it up so we can do a compression test, and then we will see. I'm afraid that if I do too much, the small particles are going to drop down into the cylinder, and then yeah, start messing stuff up there. But I really want to do the compression test now, and then we can have something to compare to afterwards. Okay, so before we get to that, I just put down your comment. Do you think if this was a good idea, doing a compression test with the inlet and yeah, the valves looking so bad? I know the engine turns over. We've done that in a previous video, but yeah, comment now what you think, if this is a good idea or not. Then later, when we get to that part and it starts to run or not, we can see if it was a good idea or not. So yeah, put down a comment. I love to hear, should I do this or not? I'm going to do it, but yeah, we will see. Okay, just going to try and turn the engine over, and then we can see if you can see the valves moving or not. It stopped turning over. So you can see that the dust coming out. Yeah. I think the head needs to come off. Okay, so I'm glad I got that on film. As you saw, moving over nicely, and then plus suddenly it just stopped. So I think either something is in the cylinders or there's something between the valves, which means that they cannot move. So yeah, I will try and clean it up, see if I can turn it over. I'm not really sure I'm going to do the compression test, but yeah, we'll definitely try and clean it up and see if we can get it to turn around again. It doesn't look really nice in there. So yeah, that's why I think the cylinder head needs to come off. And before we do a compression test, I do need to clean up what I can, I think, blow it out. Okay, so back in the garage, coffee in hand, engine. not turning over, something we need to fix. So it turns to a certain point and then just stops, so it's hooking up or snagging on something, which I need to fix. Starting the cleaning, but I need to finish that, so I'm thinking of removing all the spark plugs and let's use compressed air, try to blow out anything that's inside the cylinder. I don't know if it's a good idea. Some of you will say, oh, don't do that, but yeah, I'm here to learn, and hopefully some of you will learn too, either from my genius or my mistakes. So yeah, let's get to it, try and clean out the cylinders and get the engine turning freely again. As you saw, there's a lot of dust inside of the engine and also inside of the porch here. I think we need to look at lubricating the valves and the valve sleeves, and also take off the rocker cover and see the condition on top here. I haven't done that, so yeah, it could be rusted, but it shouldn't since it's been closed all the time. Yes.
So I removed the glow plugs and it was pretty easy, even though they were rusted at the end. After that, I started blowing out each cylinder, and starting with number 1, I could already see a lot of dust.
Okay, just cylinder 1, let's see on the, yeah, there's big pieces coming out. So yeah, continue through the whole thing, then you'll see exhaust. Oh. I'll try to turn it over in reverse and then see. Oh, it's stuck.
At this point, I'm not really sure what's wrong, but I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay, let's try and take some lubrication on just the valves, just to see if those are just rusted.
So I'm being really careful just to spray directly on the valves. I don't want the oil to mix with the dust and build up, because as I mentioned, I want to blow all the dust out with the compressed air.
It turns over, but it's not really liking it.
So I continued blowing out the cylinders while I was rotating the motor so the valves could open. And after a while, it started to move freely.
So it's a little workout. Oh, sorry, hitting my microphone. It's a bit windy after all the hard work. So it moves nicely. Have blown out most of it, so I guess there was something in between the valves, and also lube the valves, but maybe they are rusted a bit. So next, take off the rocker cover, and then we can see what condition the rocker is in and if it's getting any oil up there. To take the wires off here from the coil. The HT lead is already broken, and the low tension one is pretty old. Okay, let's get this out of the way. This should be pretty easy to get off. I hope.
So I found this part really fun and I couldn't wait to see inside, hoping for the best, but accepting that it could be much worse than what I was hoping for.
So a bit squished, a bit too much squished actually. So I need new what's it called, bushings, rubber bushings here. It's off. Oh, pull came out. Okay, so eager to see the condition here. Let's see. Try not to ruin the gasket. The gasket is loose on both ends. Let's see. Oh, And there's something here. So it looks like my pumping or turning. Looks like it has oil because of my turning. I'm thinking if we clean off here now, let's see. So and I turn this, we should see oil coming out. Yes. Oh, sorry. I can hear the oil running down again. So rockers are rocking, and that's really cool. I can't see anything faults. Looks nice, not rusty. And we get oil, which is really good because that tells me the oil pump is working. And we got oil pressure up the oil pressure tube, oil field pipe on the rear of the engine. See the little pipe here? And that feeds the rocker all the way. Really good news. We got oil pressure, which means the oil pump is working, and that's just, whew, don't have to think about that. Rocker seems fine, which is really nice. And now I think we just need to clean out the ports a bit, just to make sure that no debris goes back. So I'm going to use the vacuum cleaner and then see if we can get more out. And after we've done that, then we can start looking at getting the starter motor working and finally do the compression test.
So I maybe went a bit overboard with the cleaning, but it turned into a whole process and me looking at the rockers while the valves open. But it's really fun and I'm learning as I go along.
Okay, so I saw this being done. It's just, what's it called? I don't remember. To scratch up or to buff, not buff, to, before you do a paint job, you rough up the paint. Basically, this is what it is. I think this is like 380 grit, so I think I'm going to do that. Spin around and see what we get. I think I got company. Hallais! Nei, ja, men jeg kan gjøre det. Det er sikkert fint oppe nå. Ja, hun gjør det. Hun har fast plass og nå. Ja. Nei, greit. Det er bare å gå, skal jeg komme. Ja, Lars. Lukter svidd. Du kan holde lukta selv. Ja. Ser det bra grumsat. Ja. Jeg har fjernet veldig mye allerede. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back in the garage after a little lunch. Perfect timing for my parents to drop by. Always nice, and the sun was out now, no wind. Really feeling the spring coming on now. It's middle of February soon, and yeah, the sun is warming here in the middle of Norway. Okay, so before lunch I was about to start cleaning out this porch using this matting pad, and I think it's around 380 grit or something. So I'm going to start with that, do all the porch here, and then just vacuum everything out, and then we will see how good we can get the porch. Okay, so clean out the bunch. The inner ones is hard to get to, so because of the mechanism here, so I'm going to remove that and see if we can get the drill all the way.
So this part of the mechanism is the part that connects the pedal, the gas pedal, to the carburetor mechanism inside the engine bay.
Linkage off. bolt off. Like so.
With this mechanism off, I could just get my drill in and I can do the 2 inner ports.
Okay, so a lot of cleaning has been done, and yeah, off camera, and the ports looks way better than they did. So it's not good, and especially all the way in behind where the valves comes down and the valve sleeve, I can't really get to that. So yeah, I can't really do anything about it. But it's good enough that I feel like I could start it up. But yeah, it's definitely good enough to run the starter so we can do a compression test. But what if we can do compression tests manually with that? Okay, I need to find the gear. I'm thinking since we can get oil pressure, we should be able to do a compression test there. Like, we will see if we are in the ballpark or not. If we get pressure or no pressure. Yeah, get the tester, let's test it out. Okay, so I bought this compression tester kit when I got the car, like a long time ago. Eric said that's the best way to test out how good the engine is, or the inside of the cylinder is. So it's just a general brand, nothing special. I think it's a screw-in type, so that's good. So let's see how it looks. Ooh, nice. Okay, so I guess you can go straight. No. Okay, so you have a push type, and then you have screw-in type. And I guess you need to match the threads. And those look pretty close. It's basically a valve. So there's a valve here like you have on your, I guess on your car. Air can only go in, and it compresses here into the gauge, and then you can see how much pressure is building up inside of the cylinder. Lock. Then this goes into here, and then we can screw it in. Okay, nice. So we are looking for, let's see, what does the book say? I think it's around 120 for the low compression. There's difference between, so you get these engine with low and high compression. So you get low compression is 7 to 1 and high is 8 to 1. Let's see, petrol engine. Compression pressure at starter motor cranking speed with engine hot. So no starter engine, not engine not hot. We are looking at 10.2 bars, which is 145. Yeah, it looks like this. 145 psi. That's really high. I think the 8.1 is around 140. But yeah. So I'm thinking everything above 100 is a plus. Everything below 100 is just, okay, there's no chance that we are going to start the engine. Okay, so I found there's a little detail. So don't put it on the hose, because there's a, you can use a socket on this and then screw it into the into the top or the cylinder head first, and then you can put this on afterwards. I think that's a good idea. Okay, let's do that. The hose needs to go on. Okay, tester's on. Let's see if we can get some pressure. Remember 140 it said, I think. I don't think we're gonna get that, but we will try. Let's do it manually. Okay, so nothing. Okay, so that didn't work out. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I need to go out and deliver my kids for practice, and then we will come back either tonight or tomorrow morning. We will see. Okay, so a new day and we are back in the garage. Went with my kids today and do some climbing, so my hands and yeah, it's just it's all gone. So but I'm gonna do my best. So yesterday we couldn't get a pressure reading on the gauge on the piston one. So I don't know if I've done something wrong or what, but I'm gonna see if I can figure that out. If I can't get the screw-on type to work, I'm going to try the hold and press on stuff and yeah, get my wife to help out. But we will see. I'm just going to try and see if I can fix this, and then we can see if we can get the needle on the gauge to move. So this is what I mean. You have the screw-on type into the cylinder, and then you have the pipe going up to the gauge. And in the kit here, you can see there's a push-on type, which is just what's it called? Cone. I don't know the English word. So you can press on, and we can try that if the screw-on type doesn't work out. So my hands are all messed up after climbing, so yeah, I need to put on some gloves. Okay, so I got it to move. Let's see if we can capture the movement. So we are looking at like 11 psi. Okay, so move it from first to third, see what we get there. Then we can move on to fourth and finally a second. And if we cannot get any pressure there, I think maybe we should check if we should put it on the battery and yeah, use the starter engine. Maybe the manual isn't enough to get pressure. I actually don't know. Nothing on number 3, so I think maybe this is just hopeless. Cylinder number 4. Firing or number 4. Nothing. Okay, let's try the last cylinder there. Maybe need some oil, and maybe the piston rings are totally gone, or they are seized. Oh. It could be the manual. The manual way maybe is too slow. I don't know. Cylinder 2, last one. One bar. I think that's the most we have gotten on all cylinders. And this is the cylinder 2. One to the rear. Okay, just to sum up, cylinder 1, bad compression, 1 bar basically just under. Then third and fourth was nothing basically. And the one to the rear, which is second, is just on 1 bar. So that's 11 psi around, I think, and yeah, 12. Really bad. I think if I put some oil into the cylinder, head onto the pistons. Maybe the piston rings are seized and then they can start moving again, and then we can get a better seal, and will create more pressure when we do the test. And while I put on the oil, and the oil can do its magic, we can start looking at getting the starter engine to work. And then we need to put on a battery. So that's going to be interesting with all of this going on. So interesting test. See if we can do it manually. Really hard work, but yeah. We got some pressure, but now let's see if we can get proper pressure. If you cannot get it with the starter or the battery, I think that the valves are gone, just totally gone. So yeah, but yeah, interesting, taking it step by step. Now battery, and try not to set the wires on fire. Yes, but first I need to get some oil into the cylinders, and I don't really have old oil, but this will do it for now. It's just a little bit, and yeah, don't go commenting about my engine starting leaking, because it's just going to be minor. And then when we get to the point of it's actually going to run, we need to flush out the whole thing. So yeah, no worries. Just going to put some oil in, and then we can start with the battery. Let's do this. Okay, so I don't have any good way of getting the oil down there. I don't have like a can, that's a popping can, which I think I should get. But I have a hose, vacuum, and then yeah, let's see if that works out. Don't want to be drinking this. That's it. Just do it like so. Montage. 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 So that's the top of the piston that you see there. Putting more oil in, getting all the way other side of the piston, trying to spread it around a bit. Okay, so before we connect the battery, I need to check the wiring diagram, and I think I should disconnect everything that's I don't need to do this. And basically that's, I think, everything except for the main wires going from the battery to the solenoid connection, and then the wires going from the solenoid to the starter battery. So the solenoid is basically a switch that is turned on by the switch inside, or the ignition inside the car. So we need the main wires going to the solenoid and to the starter engine, and then we need the wires going into ignition switch. Anything else we don't need. Alternatively, I think we can hot wire the ignition switch just directly on the solenoid. Okay, so we are looking for the wire diagram for petrol Series 2A petrol models, and I have negative earth, so that's what we are looking for. You have the battery, and then you have a starter solenoid which lives here. And you can see there's just one wire, the main big wire, going here to the connection on the solenoid, and then continue to the starter engine, which is here, which is connected to earth. So you have battery earth, main to the solenoid, and main to the starter. Then you have the key into the ignition switch, 18 ignition, I think. Switch, ignition, and starter. This lives here. So basically this will send a signal to the solenoid to open up so the positive flow can go to the starter, basically. So it will complete the circuit. Okay, so I'm just finding every wire that is loose, putting tape on them, making sure that everything is taped off so it doesn't connect with earth. Also looking through the wires here, I think the best thing I could do is just to go inside the car and then take the panel off, then find the correct colors for the starter, or the starter switch, the ignition key. So I think that's what it's going to do. Then we can look, because I could check the restoration manual. What's happening with focus? Could check the restoration manuals and see, but there's so many changes here, I don't really know. There's so many changes there, I don't really know if it's correct inside, if they've changed anything. So yeah, opening up the panel inside the car, then we can see behind here which wires goes to the ignition key, and then we can filter out everything else and just only have the ignition key. Okay, so I'm about to start, but my wife just came out there and then yeah, surprised me with this. Ooh, yummy for my tummy. So yeah, super lucky. Happy man, have a great wife, so kind, and yeah, I'm out here filming, working on my car. She's inside baking and coming out with this for me to make me happy. So yeah, really, really love my wife. I need to make a cup holder, I think. Ooh. Cup. Very, very nice. Yummy. And just a flat iron. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so the speed. Oh Lord. I think this needs some cleaning. Okay, ignition, yellow, white. Okay, there's a lot of things on the ignition here. Okay. So there are some wires here we can remove. This is going into the like so. This I don't know. You can check that on the outside what this yellow one is. Yellow to was nothing. Remove that. So this is probably something extra. Old tape. Never a good sign. Let's see. So just watching them, so see if you can get some colors on this. This seems to be a. This is definitely white with red dots. Damn. So, new favorite tool when working on a series, since all the things seems to be one bolt and a nut on the other side of the of the bulkhead, is a clamp on type of what's it called? Tongs? Not tongs. Pleasers? No, I don't remember.
As I'm going through all the wires, I'm just focusing on one at a time, and hopefully at the end I only have what I need to get the starter engine cranking.
Black. The white is going to black. And that is red.
As the cleaning process, the wires took a long time. Also, I'm cleaning up the earth wires and the connection through the body and the chassis. After a lot of time spending with the wires, I'm starting to tell you what I've done, what I've hooked up, and suddenly I'm looking like a fool talking to no one with no mic working.
Okay, got the keys. Battery all sorted, all connected, only have the wires that I need. So now, time to see if one of these keys fits in the ignition, and then we will see. Will it burn down or will it start to crank? Okay, so what do you think? I just know that I just hope it don't burn down. So what do you think? Will it start? Will it crank over? Not start. Will it crank over? And yeah, or not? Comment down below. Okay. Let's see if we can find a key that fits. Any. Wilmot. Union. Let's see. Yes. Center position. What's this left? Maybe lights, baby. I don't know. No charging light. Okay. Let's turn. Okay, I've done my best. I think I need to end the video here. Yeah, let's go out, sum it up. Okay, so yeah, as I said, I don't have time. I need to edit this video, and it's a lot of work. And yeah, I did my best. Engine is turning as it should. Connected battery. Think I'm having the wires correctly, but I'm not sure. So yeah, compression wise, we only got like 1 bar on two cylinders. So yeah, and I'm not going to do retests just manually, so I need to start to work. So I think this is this is the end of this video. And yeah, next up, I guess it's going to be wiring. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the series. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. It's going to be more content like this. And if you want to support me even more, check out Patreon. Everything that's on Patreon is going to go into this this series and this series. Yeah. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. And as always, thank you.